All right, so we're live here with 52 weeks of live coding MLOPs. Last week I covered the OpenAI interface here in a very shallow way and did some Flask stuff with it in Github Codespaces. The week before that, I think a couple weeks before that, 2 weeks in a row, in fact, we did Hugging Face. This week I'm going to keep shifting gears and I'm going to move over to Ludwig because I was just talking to the author of Ludwig, Piero, uh, last week, and it really is very interesting open source technology because it's declarative AutoML. So I really like the idea of Ludwig and the concept of there's a config file and you just tweak it a little bit and then you train things inside of Ludwig. So let's go ahead and just start diving through into the weeds here and get into it. And if I go here and I share my screen, I can get into it. So to start with, what I can do is potentially just go to the Ludwig website. That's probably be a good spot. Make my screen a little bit bigger. That's probably a good idea as well. There we go. So let's go to Ludwig. Take a look at this. So here's the framework. You can see here we've got this cool. I don't know what that is, but some kind of computer wave. And you can see what it is. Ludwig is a toolbox that allows you to train and test deep learning models with minimal code. So this is, again, I think a really cool concept is why do I need a lot of code? And so how do you use it? You just say pip install Ludwig. And then in order to train it, you would just use the command line tool, pass it a data set, pass it a config file to do a prediction. You would go through here and do a predict. And then to visualize, you would go through and visualize the statistics. It also has a programmatic API. So you could also kind of tap into that. And what's really cool about this is Pierre Molino is that this is something that was used in the real world, right? So this isn't like some experimental open source project. This was used at Uber at scale. And so what we can do is basically get started with this by going to get started and following the instructions here. So what I'll do is I'll just toggle back and forth here with the instructions and start to build out a repo. So probably to start with here, I'm going to just do a pip install, get all this working. So I'll go to the GitHub again, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to create a new repository for Ludwig. And let's go here and let's create one. We'll say new repo, and we'll say Ludwig getting started. Say declarative machine learning examples with Ludwig. And I guess before I do that, one of the things I need to do, let me just open another window here, is I'm going to need to clean out some of my code spaces because I have too many. So I'm gonna make a little room so I can launch this into a code space. Where are these code spaces? Here we go. Code spaces. Let's just nuke one of these. Okay, good. I got some room. So now I can finish this. We'll make a public repo, add a README, go ahead and add Python. That looks good. So add a Creative Commons here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create this Ludwig repo. And then I'm going to go ahead and launch a space here. And I'm going to launch a big one because who knows, maybe I'll train a model and I want some CPUs at my beck and call and maybe lots of memory here. So what is really cool about Ludwig again is it's like a config file based approach. Let's clean this up a little bit. Let's go to a good color theme. Let's do GitHub. Visual Studio Dark. There we go. Here we go. Make this bigger. And there we go. and we'll take this. And now if I go back to here, we've got this code space set up. There we go. And I'm going to create a virtual environment first. So I'll say virtual env, and we'll do this, right? So this would basically create a virtual environment. And then I'm going to source it and activate. I'm going to put this instead of my bash RC because I want to be lazy. I don't want to do this a bunch. So we'll just go to the bottom over a bash RC here. Why the shift key doesn't work, but usually that works. Oh, maybe it's not Vim bindings. No, that's weird. It should work, but because I'm in Vim. But let's paste this inside. Okay, that sources the virtual environment. So if I open up a new shell, for example, this will work. Okay, we've got a virtual environment. I would create a requirements file here as well, and then I would create a make file just because I like to be lazy. And then I'm gonna go to some repo that I have, maybe PyTests. Get it back since PyTest. Let's find a make file that I can copy some stuff from. And so this is something I typically do is just get a make file because I want to do less work, not more work, right? I don't want to do this stuff a lot. I want to have my environment take care of everything for me. So in this case, I would just say make install, and this would upgrade the Python installer, which is pip, and it would also potentially look inside this requirements and install anything. So let's go back to our documentation here and let's see what Ludwig is telling us to do. So they want us to do pip install Ludwig. Okay, let's put this in, and I'll put this right here, Ludwig. All right, so pretty easy. I'll just do a make install here, and let's go ahead and install Ludwig. Let's see how long it takes. Now, again, it's pretty cool that I have a very powerful machine that it potentially, even if it's big, it's going to not be too horrible. And in fact, if I open up another shell, look, I can run htop and it'll show me like everything that's happening on my machine, which is pretty cool, right? Like I can run a terminal and you can see like, ooh, this is doing a lot of work here, 64%, right? So this is a definitely a very meaty install. Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing cooking. We see that it looks like it is done. There we go, or it's almost done. We can look at the look, see it's 100% CPU. So it's good to really be aware of your what's happening, right? Like it's doing something. It's still doing some stuff, even though it doesn't seem like it is. We can see this from the Python interpreter that's pegged out at 86%, 96% is still cranking. Okay, now it's looking less busy. Ludwig is maybe the last thing that it's kind of building here, but we're still waiting for it. And we can see here that there's we have actually a lot of memory left on the machine, right? We have 30 gigs of RAM left on the machine. Now it finally appears to be okay. It's done. Okay, good. So good thing we picked this very, very powerful machine. Now, if I go back to this, it's going to tell you that if your machine has GPU, which we don't because we're in a CPU-based environment, you could install the GPU version, which is pretty cool. You can also do Docker. So GitHub Codespaces does support that. Maybe we'll do that maybe next week or in the future. So that's great to know. And then it says data set preparation. So Ludwig can train any table like data set. In this example, we use the Rotten Tomatoes data set. Let's do this. I like this. I like that they have an example here. Let's try it out. So we'll go ahead and add this into the README, or say like example of getting started. I'll put some notes in here, and I'll just say you probably want to do this, right? You want to curl this. So we'll do this command. There we go. Curl. Actually, we don't want to curl. We want to do wget. We just want to download it. Right. So let's go ahead and wget this. Wget curl. wget. There you go. Wget. Take that out. Okay, we got it. So we could even check this in if we wanted to. And then if we look at the data, we can inspect it with Unix tools, right? So in this case, look, head-in 5 Rotten Tomatoes, perfect, right? We don't need to worry about doing the first few rows of the data with like pandas or something like that. We can just visually look at it with standard Unix utilities, and then you can see it'll look something like this. There we go. So next up, we want to train it. So how do we do this? And this again, I think shows the power of something like Ludwig, is that you can see that this config has the input features, the output features, the pre-processing, the model architecture, the training loop, the hyperparameter search, and the backend infrastructure. Basically everything you need to do the building, the training, and the evaluation of a model. And at the minimum, you just have to specify the model's input and output. So here's a very basic config. So we're going to go ahead and create this inside of our environment here. So we'll call this one Rotten _tomatoes.yaml. So we'll say touch Rotten _tomatoes. Man, I'm so bad at spelling. Double check. TOMATOES. Glad I checked. And then it's going to be YAML. Yeah, YAML. There we go. So we've got this. Paste this inside. There we go. So our config file is this: genres, type set, pre-processing tokenizer, comma, right, because it's comma separated. This is going to be content rating. This will be category. Top critic is the name, binary, runtime number, review context text, encoder, embed, output features, recommended binary. There we go. Looks very cool here. And we've got that configured. And let's just go through what it says. It says the genres associated with the movie will be used as the set feature. The movie's content rating will be used as a category feature. Whether the review is done by a top critic or not will be used as the binary feature. The movie's runtime will be used as a number feature. The review content will be used as text feature. And the config file also tells Ludwig that we want the model to have the following output features. So really it's going to be a binary classification. We want to say whether we want to watch the movie or we don't want to watch the movie. Once we've created the file with the contents, we're ready to train it. So really, this is amazing, right? Like, I mean, I think this is such a cool tool. If I go back to README, we do, this is basically step one, right? Step two, create YAML file, train, right? And then step three, train. And we can just put in the command here, right? And we'll maybe be nice and say this. We'll just tell someone to do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and run this command right here, Ludwig train, and I'm kind of excited to see my htop, right? So if we look at htop currently, right, we see that basically we have tons of memory. The load average is nothing, right? But let's train it. Let's see what happens. What goes on? We have one problem, which is no module named. I think this is a Debian install issue. That's pretty easy to fix. Github Codespaces. I think I just need to do an apt-get install something. Okay, what do you need to do? let's try this. Let's try that. Sometimes you do have to know how to do apt installs. This is old school stuff you used to have to do back in the day. Well, it says it's already installed. This seems to be an issue on import. Let's try that. No module. Okay, let's try this. Can I confirm? Got it. After installing, the import error was gone. So maybe that's it. You yum install, but I'd install this. Let's try this. So these things happen. I mean, no, so it does say it's already the newest version. So this could be an issue that I think I can figure out though. This is kind of the point of live coding is to have PyTorch. Let's try that. No module. I'm using this on my machine. This could work. How it should be the default. Sudo apt-get install that. So it wasn't. There might be an issue. I don't think it's issue this. I'll install the pack. This is looking promising. I'm using Python 3.7. No. Well, let's try that out. Let's see what happens. So if I do Python here, and we say imports lmza, well, that's promising. It doesn't work. I guess I could try to pip install lmza. What does that do? So what is import pip install? Oh, py. Let's try this. Maybe this will work. Now we're getting into weirdness, which who knows if this will work. It could. And no module. Let's keep trying. We can fix this. No module. Let's do this. We need something new though. Like a really. This has got to be super common. But for now. We tried this. I think I already tried that, but let's try it again. The newest. What else can we find here? No module. How can I solve? What does this say? We've noticed this. I'm trying to debug the problem. It's not deterministic. This definitely seems troubling. We got another one. What did they do? Vim, apt-get, nope. Backports, third step. Boy, this looks like a tricky problem to solve. And I'm not finding but that's PyEnv. We don't no module. Was to use not, but then what does this do? Wow, this is such an interesting problem. Well, no module. Let's search Stack Overflow now. Let's see. There's got to be something. 5,000 views. This looks good. No module. No answers. I experienced this. Solve my problem. So, I wonder. Can I build from source? 2 answers. I guess we want answers that are accepted. No module. And I think well, here's another one. No. Yeah, maybe I don't solve this today. It's looking very strange. Well, I could try not using a virtual environment. So that maybe could be the issue. Let's see, deactivate. And then I could say make install. And I'm just curious what this does. Because this basically pulls us out of a Python virtual environment. There could be something weird going on here. Could not use the user option. So we might have to change. Let's do this. I'll just say pip install instead and see what happens. Because we're in a container, maybe we don't need a virtual environment. Okay, we're still going here. Uninstalled protobuf. Okay, pips. TensorFlow 2.9 requires protobuf, but you have protobuf, which is incompatible. Well, let's see what happens if I run Ludwig now. And does this work? Well, at least we're getting the same error. I'm curious if we do conda. Let's try conda now. We'll say conda GitHub Codespaces if they have any recommendations. Let's see here. Here's a guy that is using it. Conda private repo. Well, let's try this. Yeah, it looks like there's something. I've seen this error before with this. Well, it's probably a good stopping point though. This will be something for me to debug next week. But we got close. I'm just running into an issue with figuring out how to get that one package installed here, which will be a fun thing to figure out next week. But that's kind of the point of live coding, is you never know what's going to happen. All right. Well, thank you everybody. And I will see everybody next week, and we'll debug this piece of code. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.